Hi, my Bitcoin followers! Can BTC make you a millionaire? Well, technically, it is possible to become a millionaire with cryptocurrency. That doesn't mean all investors will achieve that goal. So just how likely is it you'll get rich with Bitcoin? Well, in today's video, we're going to see, can BTC make you a millionaire? Without further ado, let's begin. Bitcoin is a form of cryptocurrency. If you are unfamiliar with cryptocurrency, the whole thing may seem a bit complicated. However, it is easier than you think at first. Bitcoins cannot buy most everyday expenses. While some companies are opening up to the use of Bitcoins, the fluctuation in value are so extreme that it is difficult for real products to be assigned a value in Bitcoins. Cryptocurrency prices have been reaching new heights over the past few weeks, and many investors are trying to get in on the action. Investing in crypto can potentially be lucrative, especially if you invest at the right time. If you had invested $1,000 in Bitcoins a decade ago, for example, you'd have more than $15 million today, assuming you held your investments and didn't sell during that time period. It's easy to get caught up in crypto's monumental gains. Bitcoin has surged 372% in the past year. Its competitor Ethereum is up more than 1,500% in the same time period, and Dogecoin has soared by more than 19,000%. Based on those numbers alone, it seems hard not to get rich with cryptocurrency. But it's important to remember that past returns don't necessarily equate to future earnings, and crypto is still a very high-risk investment. Crypto prices could continue to rise, but they could just as easily plummet. In fact, Bitcoin's price has already dropped by more than 26% over the past month, proving that cryptocurrency is incredibly volatile. Part of the reason crypto experiences so much turbulence is that it's a highly speculative investment. Nobody knows what the future holds for cryptocurrency. Whether it becomes a runaway success or a massive failure is anyone's guess. If it succeeds, you could make a lot of money by investing now. But if it crashes and burns, you could lose everything. It's hard to ignore the allure of crypto. It's a shiny new thing that promises to change the world, and if prices continue on their upward trajectory, you could make a serious amount of money. However, think about your risk tolerance before you invest. If you're a relatively risk-averse investor, buying crypto could lead to many sleepless nights during periods of volatility. Bitcoin regularly drops by at least 20%. And it's lost up to 80% of its value in the past. If you're starting to sweat just thinking about your investments plummeting by 80%, crypto might not be the best option. Also, be sure your financial situation is in good shape before you even consider investing in crypto. Only invest money you can afford to lose, and double-check that you have a solid emergency fund with at least 3 to 6 months worth of savings. This is so that you won't need to sell your crypto investments if you face an unexpected expense. Finally, make sure you have a strong, diversified portfolio. Because cryptocurrency is so risky, you'll want a solid core portfolio that you can fall back on if your crypto investments take a turn for the worse. Cryptocurrency can be a lucrative investment, but it's also one of the riskiest investments out there. By weighing the risks and rewards, it will be easier to decide whether cryptocurrency is the right choice for you. If you are enjoying the video, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos about Bitcoin. There are digital products that you can purchase with Bitcoins. For example, you can buy Reddit Gold with Bitcoins. Aside from digital products, you make money by selling and trading the Bitcoins. There are 2 ways to collect Bitcoins. The 2 ways are mining and trading. You can mine for Bitcoins if you have an amazingly powerful computer that can run virtually non-stop, which will cost more on your monthly utilities. While there are a lot of people mining for Bitcoins, they are the minority. Most people involved with the currency are trading. While it may be difficult, theoretically, one Bitcoin can eventually make you a millionaire. The value of Bitcoins changes regularly, sometimes quickly. So if you buy or mine $10 in Bitcoins, then trade them for $1,000 because the value increased, you will have made $990. As you keep trading and keep investing, the value of your coins will continue to increase if you are consistently trading up. You need to be able to think clearly in the abstract since you are buying, selling, and trading things that exist entirely in the virtual world. One of the advantages of Bitcoin is that they are traceable. Every transaction is logged, which means they are a safe currency. You can use a service like Coinbase, which is a trading platform to ensure you are not scammed while trading. You can get digital coin wallets that will keep your Bitcoin safe online. Coinbase, for example, offers an app that is a digital wallet for you to store your Bitcoins. A lot of people do not invest in Bitcoins because of their speculative nature and volatility. However, some risk takers have taken on the challenge of becoming a millionaire with Bitcoins. Day trading Bitcoins can be stressful due to the volatility. However, consistently watching the movement of the value can result in highly profitable trades. There is the option of buying and holding Bitcoins for long-term payout. However, there is no guarantee, so it is a hazardous approach. If you plan to trade Bitcoins, it is best to day trade and move your Bitcoins quickly as value goes up and down. Again, Crypto Advantage is an excellent resource if you are serious about investing in Bitcoins or any other form of cryptocurrency. While Bitcoins are the most popular and have grown significantly, there are other forms of cryptocurrency out there. You can take a holistic approach to investing and look at them all. It is advisable to start small and grow as you learn. While still risky, this approach will mitigate the risk while you learn how to invest and trade with savvy. It is also essential to stay on top of changes within the world of cryptocurrency, so you are aware of trends and movements. If Bitcoin establishes itself as world reserve currency, safe haven in the future, then yes, one Bitcoin can potentially make you rich, as it is highly limited due to the max supply of 21 million Bitcoins. So guys, let me know down in the comment section below, do you think BTC can make you a millionaire? For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome and interesting videos related to Bitcoin. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.